Good evening, everybody. Matrix here, and here is my watch list for December 24th, Monday. Okay, so before we start, I'd like to make a quick note to let you guys remind you guys that Monday is going to be a short day. The stock market will be closing at 1 p.m. So we are expecting volume to be a little on the lighter side. I personally suspect that the institutions are kind of done and they are already on the holidays. If anything, I mean, we might get a little bit of early action and then the volume's going to fade really quick. So I don't expect to be making a lot of trades on Monday. However, after doing some research, I did manage to whittle down the watch list and pick out a few nice plays and some nice analysts and analysis for you guys. So let's get on into it. Okay, so first up is JD. Let me move the clock out of the way here. JD. Okay, let's take a look at JD. I want to show you guys that there's a major pop that happened here midday around 3 o'clock, and this came out with basically a news play. The allegations of their CEO Richard Liu being charged for sexual assault in late August, which is right here on this day. They basically came out with news that he will no longer be charged, and they have decided to drop the case. All right, hence the pop over here. Now I want to make note of this $20 mark right here. Okay, this $20 mark is basically the IPO lows. And this is as far as it goes from JD IPOing on 2014 May 22nd. So let's take a look at this $20 mark here. This is going to be very key support. All right. So this is 2014 May 22nd. This is the IPO lows, and basically it ran from there. This is where it popped, and this is where it all happened, right? And basically, I was just looking over this chart for the past 5 years, 4 years and a bit, and I'm looking at it and comparing it with the action of the SPY. And basically, it's following the action pretty well right up until when the CEO was accused of sexual assault. All right. So with that said, this trend line really holds true, as you can see when the allegations occur. So what I'm watching for right now is a pop and a fail. Okay, I'm still gonna use this trend line, and you use a trend line until it doesn't work, right? Currently, the price is at $21.40. Okay, and I am looking for a gap up play because it closed at 21 bucks, right? So it's already gapping up after hours. So at the open, we should be seeing a little gap up. And with a gap up, I'm going to look for a pop into this trend line and then fail. So basically, I am looking for the resistance of 22 to 22.50. So I'm going to mark off 22. As you can see, 22 played really well. It's basically the high of day, yeah. So a pop into 22 and fail, that would make the double top here very evident. It might get a little bit over, so I'm going to watch also 22.50, which is right here into the trend line. Okay, we also have the 50 SMA playing on the daily chart as well. So I'm going to watch this trend line real hard. If it gets back up and over and then starts holding 22, then it could be a long. Now that's on the gap up play. So basically a gap run and fail is what I'm looking for, as I'm looking at this type of pattern right here. Last time it had a big run. It had this kind of big wick, right? The next day it gapped up, just basically ran, popped over a little bit and fail right back. And with the catalyst of it being a short day, I do anticipating the volume to drop really early. So I don't think there is going to be enough momentum to carry the stock up and over the trend line, at least not on Monday. As you can see, JD tends to fail on the next day as well. So we have two types of pattern here. We have the gap, run, and fail. We also have the massive run, but it didn't have a big wick though, and it basically just failed the next day. So it doesn't spike well. So that's what I'm watching for on JD. My target would be probably around this 2050 area right here. Okay, as you can see, 2050 held support pretty well. Let me change the colors here. It held support pretty well. Looking on the daily chart here, 2050 as well is a nice target. Okay, so that's if it gaps up. However, if it gaps down though, I'll be looking for this 2050 to hold, or if it dips out at the open, I'll be looking for the hold, and I might long it if it shows me kind of like a double bottom in this area here. So we have this one bottom, and then it might have another bottom. So that's the long side of it, okay? And this 21 is also very important as well, as it closed a little bit around this 21 area, or as it failed. So on this secondary pop, it held 21 and then it ran again. It's also the 200 SMA. So mark these off. The 21 is also the 9 EMA as well as the psychological whole number. Okay. So that's if it gaps down, or if it opens sideways, right? It dips out the gates. I'm going to look for 21 to hold and then a bounce. But ultimately, in this current market condition and giving the lower volume, I will be more into looking for a short. I don't really like to buy. In my opinion, I trust the short more. So I'll be looking for this 22 double top or the 2250 trend line rejection on JD. Next up, we have KMX. KMX is a earnings reaction winner. They basically beat sales estimates. However, their guidance didn't really woo the streets, right? So hence you have this massive doji candle. Now, looking on this doji is still looking a little bit bullish, but because of the lower volume coming Monday, I will expect the stock to double top around the 60-50s area and test these highs here. And I'm looking for a little, well, it closed kind of weak, so I'm looking for a dip at the open. And I'm expecting the dip to hold the 58 mark and then come back up. So I'm looking for a dip at the open, hold 58, and then pop back up. Looking as it pops back up, I'll be looking into the 60 mark as well as the 60-50 for the topping action, and then short it back down. I think the stock's going to play in this channel, in this range right here, from the top to the bottom. All right. Not enough volume, in my opinion, to get up and over to make the next leg up. So we'll be watching that. Looking here on the daily chart, the 60 is the 9 EMA as well. And yeah, I really do like that thesis. Now, I mentioned earlier, talking to a couple of friends of mine in the chat room, in the trades chat room, I talked about the 58 mark. This is where major volume happened, and this is to me, this is kind of the inflection point, and it's also where I think the institutions bought in. As you can see, after the early morning chop, we have major volume spike here, right? To have the ability to move a large cap stock of 10.75 billion, I believe. This is institutional stuff right here. It's either a cover pop or inducing buyers to buy as well. And as you can see on the intraday, it held so well. So it is my personal belief that I think the institutions bought here at 58, and this is a major point to watch. And I think this is the point that they will protect as this stock comes down. Okay. And as you can see, this 58 level played very well at the opening, as well as, yeah, basically played very well at the opening here. Let's take a look. I mean, if you were to look at the 1 minute chart here, this is where the major volume happened. This is after the consolidation. This is where it really came up, right? So watch for that 58 support to hold, and you might be able to long from here. I don't mind the long here, just because it's an earnings reaction winner, but very, very barely. We are closing right here at the 59 mark, okay? And the 59 mark here plays at the bottom of this wick right here. Looking on this chart, it's a pretty downbeaten chart, so I do expect a lot of bag holders in this as well. So the $60 mark is pretty key, as well as 60.50. Without volume, I don't think it can get up and over, so that's my play on KMX. Next up, we have ROKU. ROKU is beautiful. I mean, I traded this on Friday. I've been watching this since, wow, I've been watching this for a while now, watching this steady downtrend. And what I notice on ROKU is that the shorts have not covered yet at the end of the day. Here, let me zoom out a little bit. Like, the shorts have not covered yet. There was no late day pop as per usual Friday late day squeeze. They have not covered, and this is a sign to me that they are still looking for more downside. And what I think their downside is, or what I think their target is the 25 mark right here during the IPO days, right? Okay, so I don't think they will cover until it gets to 25. However, this is not just about institutional shorts though. It's also about retail shorts. So we might have some rich guys, but not institutions, that are able to cover and cause this massive pop. So I will be looking for a pop to try to get short into. I'm actually looking for, if there's two plans to this. Okay, if it gaps up, then I'll be watching the 28 mark to reject right here. Okay, as you can see, there's massive selling action here, right? On this candle, it failed, and then it got sold again. It got dumped right at the 28. Maybe, just maybe, 28.50s, okay? Because this candle, this massive red candle here, this is where the big dump happened, right? So I'm expecting the big boys to dump it there if it gets back up. They don't make money keep selling cheap. They have to make money. They can only make money by if people buy this back up, and then they'll short it from high top, right? The 28.50s is also the previous day's lows, which is the Thursday slows. So prior support now becomes resistance. And if it does get back up over 28, I'm just going to let it go crazy. I will be anticipating some sort of a failure here at 28.50, low volume as well. So the safe play is to wait for the pop if it gaps up. But since I mentioned that they have not covered yet, just by the looks of the chart, I don't see massive cover pops here at the late day. I do think the stock will gap down. And if it gaps down, I'll be watching the 27 area. Ideally, right now, it's sitting a little bit above 27, which is a key psychological whole number. If it gaps down, I'll be watching 27, a pop back up at the open into 27, maybe 27.50s. 27.50s is also a key psychological whole number as well. And this trend line still plays. Actually, if I were to zoom out a little bit, make sure you plot this trend line on, because this is the major trend line that's holding right now, right? So if it gaps down, I will wait for that pop back up to test this trend line. This trend line helped me a lot on Friday, and it's basically what I used to make that perfect trade I took on ROKU on Friday. So keep this trend line on and watch it react. All right, that's ROKU. We have AMD next. AMD, I'm just going to go a little quicker here on the watch list. I'm basically just watching the 1750s as well as the 1720s area here. All right. As you can see, this is basically resistance zone, in my opinion. The stock has sold off a lot, so I'm not sure if it can come down straight away. It is looking weak, though. So I do anticipate a gap down. We're sitting a little bit under 17, sitting a little bit under the whole number. So this in itself, to me, it reeks of weakness, right? Depending on what it does pre-market, though, I mean, if it can get back up and over and starts holding, we could get a pop back into this resistance area. And I'm looking at 1750s, 1720s area, okay? And I'll wait for the double top or the lower high. I mean, here is the 1750s. I'm basically watching these areas to reject again, okay? And then on the low side of it, here's the 1720s. I'm watching for these areas to reject, right? As it failed late day on Friday, right? Okay, so that's what I'll be watching for. My target on AMD short is right here at the $16.25 to $16 mark. That's the initial target. Can it go lower? I don't know. It's really strong here at 16. So don't get greedy. Let's hope for a pop right back up into the 17.5 because that would be very ideal on AMD. Next up, we have ROKU. We have SQ. SQ, I like. I'm basically just watching for a technical type of play here. I'm just watching it to cover pop up into this 54 area. 54 is key psychological whole number. So right there, okay. And looking for the fail at the 54. Right now it's in at 52.30. It's closing week, so it might gap down. If it gaps down under the 52, then I'll probably use 52.75 to 53 as a resistance mark. So if it gaps down under at the pre-market, I'm expecting a cover pop. I don't ever want to short these stocks on weakness. I'm always looking for a cover pop. So I'm looking for a cover pop either into 54 or 53. And looking at this right now, it's looking weak. So I'm guessing a gap down and then a pop and then a fail. The reason why I pick SQ is because there's a lot of room to the downside. I think the stock wants the $50 mark, right? And as you can see, this is where 54 is. So let's mark off 54, probably right there. There's not much holding it right now, right? There's not much holding it right now. So looking for the pop and drop, all it takes is a little bit more volume to hammer it down to the 50 mark key psychological whole number, as well as 2017 late top here, and looking for the 50 SQ. Finally, we have Facebook. Now, looking at Facebook, this is a very weak chart. I'm also looking for a cover pop here. Facebook, I'm looking at 127, so a little bit above, right around this area. So basically this green candle right here, right? Okay, I'm looking for the pop into 127 and fail. As you can see here on 127 on the 15-minute chart, it was basically, first of all, it's a key psychological whole number. Second of all, this is where it tried late day and failed, and it tried consolidating here around lunchtime, and it basically tweezer topped right here. So I'm gonna neglect this whole tweezer top because I'm going to take it as it never happened, because it tried and it failed, and they don't want to buy it from here at all. They don't want to buy a penny over 128 at all. And the nearest resistance spot I want to look at is 127. So looking for 127 pop and fail, maybe 128, but 128 for sure. I like. It's gonna fail. That's how convicted my bias is on this. And the reason why I picked Facebook is because there is nothing holding it up all the way down to 120, right? So there is still a lot of room to come down. Yes, it might be a little oversold right now, hence I'm looking for that pop. And my main target is 120. Okay, so that's my watch list this evening. I hope you guys enjoyed what you watch. I purposely made this watch list a day early in advance. That way you guys can use the Sunday to review it. Let me know what you think about the watch list. I mean, what you think about my analysis. Yeah, give me some feedback, comments, hit the like button, share, subscribe. Always share, because it's 'tis the season to be sharing. I make these watch lists for free. Check out my video link descriptions. If you like my watch list and find them accurate, I can tell you 100% I learned it from my mentor in the Trick Trades chat room. Okay, and if you want to learn from my mentor, then you should check my video description links. We are doing a sale at Trick Trades right now on educational material. It's a 12 days of Christmas sale. Basically, everything is 25% off. And the sale will be done by January 1st, okay? There won't be another discount for a long time. In fact, I think the prices might raise by January. So really think about investing in your future, investing in yourself. That would be a perfect Christmas gift. That's just my opinion, though. So I'm just gonna put it out there at the risk of sounding like a promoter here. But if it's not good, I wouldn't be trying to sell it here on video, anyways. I have a lot of testimonials from Trick Trade members, people who have followed me from my prior chat room and coming into Trick Trades. They absolutely love it. So it is what it is. So I'll see you guys bright and early on Monday, and thanks for watching. Ciao.